Hi, good morning, greetings, welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, September 7th, and we are going to be looking at new releases again today. I appreciate you either tuning in or watching on a replay, either way. I very much appreciate that. Hi, Mom. Good morning, Pete. Reading Morning Child, Morning Wild, Chapter 7 by K.A. Tucker. E-Reading The Chase by L. Kennedy, and Listening to My Best Friend is by Max Monroe. After my own heart, reading a lot of books at once. I do that too. Let me mute that. Hope you're having a good morning. I gotta admit, it was a slow start. I was very tired last night. It's been those short weeks are rather long. It doesn't lessen the workload, it just compacts it. We were normally we would be looking at regular fiction. I'm just not in the mood. I did find a couple other websites though that for some reason the book riot's only it's not comprehensive. So and some of these that I know are coming out are big names, so I don't know what's happening there. This one is called booktipper.com. And these are more mysteries. I mentioned J.D. Robb, Payback and Death. That's actually the one I'm reading right now. William Kent Kruger, very, very big name in mystery, and I don't know why they didn't have this one listed. This one's called The River We Remember. And it says, in 1958, a small Minnesota town is rocked by the murder of its most powerful citizen, pouring fresh fuel on old grievances in this dazzling standalone. Oh, that's great. He does do a long-running mystery series set in Minnesota. On Memorial Day, as the people of Jewel, Minnesota gather to remember and honor the sacrifice of so many sons in the wars of the past, the half-float body of wealthy landowner Jimmy Quinn is found floating in the Alabaster River, dead from a shotgun blast. Investigation of the murder falls to Sheriff Brody Dern, a highly decorated war hero who still carries the physical and emotional scars from his military service. Even before Dern has the results of the autopsy, vicious rumors begin to circulate that the killer must be Noah Bluestone, a Native American World War II veteran who has recently returned to Jewel with a Japanese wife. As suspicions and accusations mount and the town teeters on the edge of more violence, Dern struggles not only to find the truth of Quinn's murder, but also to put to rest the demons from his own past. Caught up in the torrent of anger that sweeps through Jewel are a war widow and her adolescent son, the intrepid publisher of the local newspaper, an aging deputy, and her crusading female lawyer, all of whom struggle with their own tragic histories and harbor secrets that Quinn's death threatens to expose. Set in 1958. Craig Johnson, another big name in mystery that wasn't listed in the Longmire series, which I started and I fell away from. I'll have to get back to that someday. This is called The Longmire Defense by Craig Johnson. Walt Longmire faces one of his most challenging crime scenes as he tries to reckon with the revelations of his last case, where he confronted the ghosts of his past and questioned the very nature of justice and mercy in the hard country of the West. Deep in the heart of the Wyoming countryside, Sheriff of Zorkey County, Walt Longmire is called to a crime scene like few others that he has seen. This crime brings up issues that go back to Walt's grandfather's time in Wyoming, as the revelations he learns about his grandfather come back to offer clues and motives for Walt's investigation. Filled with backcountry action and with the great cast of characters that readers have come to love with the Longmire series, this new book will be sure to satisfy both long-time readers and those new to the series. Very nice. Hi, Storm. Just waking up and laying in bed, trying to motivate my. I had that same. It's been a hard morning. I think a lot of coffee is going to be required. Hi, Jana. Good morning. I was mentioning at the beginning that normally on Thursday we look at straight fiction, but I was kind of looking over the website book riot that we usually check out, and it just was not very appetizing, interesting to me. And then have been looking around for some other sources for books because I know their list wasn't comprehensive. And so now we're looking at this website, which is booktipper.com, which has some very large names in mystery that the other site did not have that are coming out this week, such as Reykjavik by Ragnar Jonasson and Katrin Jacobsdalder. If you're not familiar with Ragnar Jonasson, he writes a very traditional series, or not necessarily a series, but sometimes I think they're standalones. But I saw him at a BoucherCon right when he was getting started, and he seemed like a very nice young guy. So I'm glad that his career has taken off. Reykjavik. What happened to Lara? Iceland, 1956. All of these are like set in the past, in the 50s. 14-year-old Lara decides to spend the summer working for a couple on a small island of Bidi, it's probably different, just off the coast of Reykjavik. In early August, the girl disappears without a trace. Time passes, and the mystery becomes Iceland's most infamous unsolved case. What happened to the young girl? Is she still alive? Did she leave the island, or did something happen to her there? 30 years later, as the city of Reykjavik celebrates its 200th anniversary, journalist Valur Robertson begins his own investigation into Lara's case. But as he draws closer to discovering the secret, and with the eyes of Reykjavik upon him, it soon becomes clear that Lara's disappearance is a mystery that someone will stop at nothing to keep unsolved. That kind of has vibes to me of Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. James R. Ben, another name, big name in mystery. He writes a World War II series. I've not read that series. In the 18th installment, U.S. Army Captain Billy Boyle investigates a murder in a charming English village where personal vendettas tangle with wartime espionage. Norfolk, England, November 1944. After a series of dangerous missions in the south of France, U.S. Army Captain Billy Boyle is finally on leave and is settling into a peaceful rest at the country estate of Sir Richard Seaton, the father of Billy's British lover, Diana. Seaton Manor is a comfortable haven, and Billy is eager to spend a few precious days in Diana's company, pretending the war is far away. Unfortunately, Billy's leave is cut short when a crashed German bomber resurfaces off the coast with the corpse of a British officer in the pilot's seat. The nearby village of Slewford, it's Britain, it could be pronounced Smith, who knows, hosts of a top-secret military intelligence operation, home to high-ranking German POWs, and so the crash is a matter of national security. Billy is assigned by the commander of the POW facility to investigate. After the plane is discovered, a local villager is murdered, and suddenly what had appeared to be a failed enemy military operation takes an even more sinister aspect. All Billy's ex-Boston cop instincts are put to the test as he interviews the grieving, angry, and conniving citizens of this idyllic English country village in search of the truth. That sounds very intriguing. And Cleves, another huge name in mystery that wasn't on our list. I'm thinking I'm going to, well, we'll use it as a resource, but not our only resource. The Raging Storm by Anne Cleves. This is the third installment of the Matthew Venn series. Fierce winds, dark secrets, deadly intentions. When Jem Roscoe, sailor, adventurer, and legend, blows into town in the middle of an autumn gale, the residents of Greystone, Devon, are delighted to have a celebrity in their midst. But just as abruptly as he arrived, Roscoe disappears again, and soon his lifeless body is discovered in a dinghy anchored off Scully Cove, a place with legends of its own. This is an uncomfortable case for Detective Inspector Matthew Venn. Greystone is a place he visited as a child, a community he parted ways with. Superstition and rumor mix with fact as another body is found, and Venn finds his judgment clouded. As the winds howl and Ben and his team investigate, he realizes that no one, including himself, is safe from Scully Cove's storm of dark secrets. Read with Dr. B. Good morning. Storm, I love the Longmire TV show, but Barb and I tried buddy reading the book series and dropped out as the series was boring. Well, TV, they gotta make it a lot more exciting. Or yeah, that happens. Doesn't happen often that the TV series is kind of better, but it does happen. Clive Cussler, Elizabeth should see this. Condor's Fury by Graham Brown. Kurt Austin faces mind control technology and cutting edge weaponry in the latest novel, inspired by, okay. On a pneumo trading mission in the Caribbean, Kurt Austin and Joe Zavala catch a distress call from a nearby freighter. Leaping into action, they locate a damaged vessel and a dead captain clutching a shotgun. While searching the freighter for clues, Kurt and Joe are ambushed by crew members who seem terrified and disoriented, almost brainwashed. The trawler they were hauling has vanished, taken, the men say, by baffling lights that circled the ship. Kurt and Joe deduce that the men are suffering from Havana syndrome, which deepens the mystery and raises the stakes. Soon they're confronting Cuban mercenaries who plan to use magnificent modern airships to hijack a nuclear submarine, culminating in a life-or-death showdown in the skies. Very much a guys. A dad book, as Sarah would say. But sometimes you're in the mood for a dad book. The Neighbors We Want by Tim Lane. This psychological page-turner, perfect for fans of Paula Hawkins and Gillian Flynn, explores how far couples will go to keep their marriage intact unless their secrets tear it apart first. Adam is having a hard time adjusting to the stay-at-home dad life. The sleepless nights and the constant diaper changing are not what he expected after he was abruptly fired from his job. Then again, Adam wasn't prepared for his relationship with his wife Sarah to slowly come apart at the seams either. One thing, however, keeps him going, his growing obsession with his neighbor Allie. Uh-oh. But one night, something changes. While staying up with his baby, instead of seeing Allie in the window across the way, he sees her ex-boyfriend, Crispin, don't trust boyfriends named Crispin, lurking around her house before disappearing within. When Adam hears that Allie doesn't show up for work the next day and she doesn't seem to be home, he fears the worst. She's been abducted or possibly killed. His search for the truth will lead Adam on a path filled with deceit and lies. Adam knows the answers are lurking somewhere in the shadows of his small suburban town. The trouble is, the truth is hard to find when everyone has something to hide. Dot, 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 dot. And Tom Clancy-inspired Weapons Grade, a Jack Ryan Jr. novel by Don Bentley. The aftermath of a shocking crime sends Jack Ryan Jr. down a path that leads to international destruction in the latest entry in this series. The quiet of a Texas night is shattered by the sounds of screeching brakes, crumpling metal, and most shockingly, rapid gunfire. The auto accident Jack Ryan Jr. thought he witnessed turned out to be a professional hit. Jack may be too late to save the victim, but he'll be damned if he's going to let the hitters escape justice. He's got just one lead, a meeting the victim was going to. When Jack shows up instead, he's drawn into the seedy underbelly of a small Texas town and the cold case of a college student who vanished from its streets. Jack is left with nothing but questions. Who wants it to look like the victim was drunk? Why does someone want an innocent witness killed? And most of all, what's a team of South African hitmen doing in the Lone Star State? His quest for answers will take Jack from a quiet Texas road to the middle of an international conspiracy and may just cost him his life. So don't get in the middle of those things. And that one is not a new release. So, some more options for new releases this week. Let us jump back into... We were still looking at the cozies for this week. There's always a lot of them, which is good news for us. Excuse me. A little bit froggy this morning. Snapshot of a Murder by Allison Henderson. Kindle Unlimited. Isadora Monroe can take a hint. After being laid off from her job, dumped by her fiance, and ousted from her home, all on her 40th birthday, Izzy packs up what's left of her life in San Francisco and heads to the picturesque beach town of Carmel by the Sea to lick her wounds. To her surprise, the cottage she's inherited from her great aunt Dora. Why do aunts always have such great properties? Comes complete with a built-in roommate, a bossy Burmese cat named Bogart. After a local baker and chocolatier collapses in Izzy's arms at the town's annual Halloween parade and later dies, she's just having a bad week. A colorful trio of Aunt Dora's friends rallies to her side. The whole village is on edge with the killer on the loose, so Izzy and her new friends team up with an old colleague, a former SFPD homicide detective, to solve the murder before one of them becomes the next victim. That sounds cute. At the Exhibition by T.E. Kinsey. Number 10 in the Lady Hardcastle series, also Kindle Unlimited. May 1912. After the previous year's deadly heat wave, it's been an uneventful spring in Littleton, Cotterell. Though for Lady Hardcastle and her fiercely loyal lady's maid Flo, at least there are the provincial delights of the village inaugural art exhibition and bicycle race to look forward to. But at the exhibition opening, there's a panic shout of fire. In the confusion, the main attraction, an extremely expensive book, is stolen from under everyone's nose, as is a valuable painting lent by Sir Hector Farley Stroud. Then the race, which starts as a charming day out, ends in a shocking death. And to top it all off, the Farley Strouds reveal they're in debt and might lose their house. The sleuthing duo soon find themselves torn between a murder investigation, an art theft mystery, and trying to help their pals. All with a suspicious figure from Flo's past, a supercilious insurance investigator, and a pair of rather bizarre treasure hunters on the loose. That also sounds cute. Ah, that is one I have not read. I've read a lot. Historical mysteries are on my jam, but I've not gotten to that series yet. Crone Cold Dead, number 10 in the series A Spell's Angel by Amanda M. Lee. Also Kindle Unlimited. Scout Randall's life has taken more turns than she was ready for, and it's a new dawn in Hawthorne Hollow. Her parents have arrived on the scene, and it turns out they've been hiding in the shadows for years, waiting for her. The prophecy that foretold her winning what should be an unwinnable war has enemies crawling out of the woodwork. And worst of all, she's grappling with the realization that one of her own has betrayed her. It's too much for Scout to deal with, which means that the snowmen popping up around town and acting like sentries are barely a blip. When Bigfoot joins the fray, however, Scout realizes trouble is afoot. All Scout wants is a few weeks to catch her breath. That's not in the cards. Her life is starting to spiral, and now that she knows who the enemy is, the only thing she's certain of is that she doesn't have the strength to fight him. Hawthorne Hollow is a magical nexus, and all the players are lining up. The ultimate fight isn't far away, so when new faces appear, it's easy to question if they're friends or foe. Who will come out victorious? Okay. Victim in the Violets by Dale Mayer. Lovely Lethal Gardens, number 22. Riches to rags, old cases never die, love spans decades, even if it's unrequited. With her estranged husband still pestering her, Doreen is looking for a new case to keep her interest and to help her dodge Mac and his brother's scoldings. So she decides to delve deeper into the Bob Small case, especially since it pertains to Nan's now deceased friend, only to have the case suddenly connect to a current friend and Rosemore resident. When this woman's sister ends up murdered and there's a connection to Bob Small, Doreen and her animals are off on the trail, much to Corporal Mac Moreau's disgust. Anything to do with Bob Small is big. He was linked to dozens of unsolved murder cases, and no way will Doreen do anything private on this case. However, even she isn't prepared for the ending that suddenly shows up with gun in hand and a story for the ages. Kind of surprised that one isn't Kindle Unlimited. Just feels that way. Murder Off Stage by Mary Miley. Roaring Twenties, number 5. It's kind of a nice cover. And it's not cheap. Welcome to Broadway and to An Unthinkable Crime. Former theater starlet turned amateur sleuth Jessie Beckett gets mixed up in murder when an onstage shooting turns all too real. New York, 1926. It's not like Jessie Beckett goes around looking for murders to solve. That's what they all say. But the vaudeville star turned movie script girl has a natural talent for it. After a lifetime on stage, she's sensitive to details that other people miss. So when leading theater star Alan Crenshaw is shot live on stage during a performance of hit Broadway show Rules of Engagement, a horrified Jessie, watching from the second row, she knows she has to act fast before Alan's co-star, the beautiful Nora Rose, goes down for murder. After all, it was Nora who fired the fatal bullet, even if the shooting was all part of the show. Jessie investigates those closest to Alan, the presence of her theater companion, the superstar Adele Astaire, opening doors wherever they go, and finds only enemies. With the suspects for the disliked actors so numerous, she can uncover the truth in time. Can she uncover the truth in time to save Nora, or will the killer silence her too? This trips many of my intriguing. I have to check this out. I'll have to start with the first one, but my undergraduate degree is in theater as a stage manager. 1920s, love that. Great cover. It is very reminiscent. Isn't there a Now Marsh book, a Roderick Allen, that does something similar to a shooting on stage while doing a show? There's probably several, but that one comes to mind. And Adele Astaire, I think that's Fred Astaire's sister. So very cool. That one's I'm gonna check out. Oh, we're out of time. No, we'll have to do more of these tomorrow. Right when it got really interesting. Oh, all right. Well, I appreciate you guys being here so much. Thank you. And the cover victim in violence. They get me with covers. They do. They're very clever. And I don't know why then like the cartoony ones are so popular because they just don't. They're just not the same artwork. Off to do my walk. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Storm, for showing up, and thank you, everybody. Tonight, I do have sprints at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. We'll be going for 2.5 hours. Bring your own book, work on a project, do some meditation, whatever you want to do. Otherwise, we will be here again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and we'll look at some more new releases for this week because you never know what's out there. Like that last one. I didn't know it was out there. I have a brand new series to check out. I love that. I hope your Thursday is lovely. I hope my Thursday is lovely. We all deserve it. Find something to smile about. As Olivia Reads a Latte says, be kind, be nice, have a good day on purpose. And I hope to see you tonight. Tell people, please hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Om nom nom. Thank you. Bye.